Hello, everyone. Matthew Janisek here, starting a new little section here today on processing the current paradigm and reality and how to begin to unpack and understand the layers of historical and mistruths and misunderstandings in history that have been part of the collective human experience for a long time, and that may in the near future be some of the new truths that humanity will have to grapple with. I put together 5 slides to really just show all of us what we really don't know. And you can use any of these pieces of information as crumbs, and maybe you can begin to research some of these ideas and some of these different relationships and events and just pieces of information for yourself so you can begin to unpack what has been withheld and suppressed and manipulated and changed and altered by others to keep the people more or less in the dark. And if you need more proof after this, then you're not looking close enough. So, as we look at the first one I'd like to show everyone today is the hullabaloo in this world about Vladimir Putin being the agent of evil, is one that we need to take a step back on for a moment and think about. Vladimir Putin is seen in a picture here with the very famous Russian dissident Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the famous author of the Gulag Archipelago, which is the world story about the horrors of Soviet internment, POW, and prisoner camps. A famous author who was in search of truth throughout his whole life is being awarded here by the big bad Vladimir Putin for his efforts in making the world a little more aware of some truth. Now, this probably won't make it in any of the mainstream news organizations because this provides people with balance and perspective. And what our media class seems to be most interested in is division. Another second layer of information that is interesting to know will be, this is one, if you haven't heard of yet, hold on to your hats. In the years 1890 to 1900, a author, lawyer from the state of New York by the name of Ingersoll Lockwood had written 3 separate books. The books titled Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and 1900 or The Last President. You can maybe guess what the last president's name is within the book, and you can go look this one up for yourself. You can purchase this book on Amazon. You can purchase this book anywhere and read it for yourself. I have not read all 3 books yet, just got done downloading one, and I'm going to start with that because I am curious to know who in the 1890s is writing about time travel Baron Trump and the Trumps. Weird, but still true and part of the narrative of understanding that I don't think has been covered on the mainstream media. The next slide I'd like to talk to you about is this really interesting nugget of information that I had no idea of throughout all my years as a history teacher. Is that in the year 1933, all of Judea declares war on Germany. So Jews of the world unite in a declaration of war on Germany. 1933. So A big piece of information left out of the analysis of World War II that may help people understand the layers of complexity that we are living in, under, and amongst. Another layer, the Q phenomena, the scary Q people. Well, if you've ever taken a look at an aerial photograph of John Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy's grave sites, you will notice that it looks like this. Now, is that 100% coincidence that the architecture and the layout at Arlington National Cemetery that houses these two American heroes is just coincidentally laid out in the form of a Q? Has the media ever even shown people this image? Or must people find this on their own and begin to ask questions on their own? Many people have followed the Q phenomena. I cannot say that I have dived and dove deeply into all of what Q is. There's a lot of math involved. There's a lot of detailed work involved in following these things. But many people have. And the fact that the former president is now on True Social posting and reposting elements of the Q narrative in complete opposition to the narrative that the mainstream media is presenting to not just the American people, but the world, should be enough for us to pause and think. Is the truth a little more complicated than we are being presented with? How about this next one? Well, maybe this is the last one. If any of you in the search for truth out there have stumbled across the video of the H.W. Bush funeral letters, this video is one of the most surprising and curious and conspiratorial driven, I suppose, layers in pieces of information, again, that the mainstream media simply hasn't covered and will not cover. But nonetheless, it appears that this event took place. Please look it up for yourself. Judge for yourself. Decide for yourself, how much do you really want to know? Or how much power are you willing to concede to the people that we already know are withholding all of these truths? That's all. Something to think about. Look these things up for yourself, discover truth for yourself, and decide what to do with new information that you come in contact with. Take care.